What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going over my predictions for the Chelsea versus Sevilla game. It is our first game in the Champions League, first game in the group stage, and it is against a tough Sevilla side, a side that is constantly underestimated and well, I mean, they won the Europa League last year, so this is not going to be an easy game. This is going to be a very tough game. But to get right into it, with the player news for Chelsea, it looks like Edouard Mendy will still be out with that thigh injury. It's not likely that he's going to feature in this game in any way, shape, or form. Billy Gilmore still has his injury coming off of his surgery, but Lampard did give some hope that he will return soon. And then Thiago Silva should be returning to action this week. Now for Sevilla, Kunde is out for them. He was diagnosed with the coronavirus, or he tested positive for the coronavirus, so he will not be able to play. Usama Idrissis, one of their new signings, will miss, and Alex Vidal is not included in the UCL squad. Now with that out of the way, to go into my lineups for Chelsea, I believe we're gonna play the formation we've become familiar with this season so far, the 4-2-3-1. Now I want to see Caballero in goal. I think he can handle these high, pressure situations, these high intensity situations. And I just, after Kepa's performance in the last game, I think that Caballero is going to have to be the way to go. Now for defense, Chilwell on the left, of course. Thiago Silva should be reintroduced to the lineup. It's big to have him. He has a lot of Champions League experience. He was just in the Champions League finalists last season, so definitely want to see Thiago Silva in the lineup. For me personally, I want to see Fikayo Tomori. I want to give him more game time. He already looked really good this season, and I don't understand why Christensen and Zuma are both ahead of him. It just seems like Lampard doesn't even consider Tomori as a starting option, which for me is kind of frustrating because he has looked very good this season and honestly better than the other two. He hasn't made nearly as many mistakes, and he's looked solid. So I think him and Thiago Silva should be our center back pair going forward. Now again, right back, I'm going with Reece James, but I would not be surprised if Lampard goes with Azpilicueta. The more, it just all depends on who Lampard is feeling for that day. But for me personally, I would like to see Reece James, and I just want him to get more experience, more Champions League experience specifically. And I just think it would really help him in his development. Now, as for the midfield, the two holding midfielders, of course, Jorginho and Kante, who need to be a bridge between our attack and defense in this game. And then for the front three, the attacking three, I do want to see Hakim Ziyech start over Mason Mount. Hakim Ziyech left attacking mid, Kai Havertz center attacking mid, Pulisic right attacking mid, and Timo Werner up top. Similar to how we played against Southampton, but instead of Mason Mount, Hakim Ziyech. I really don't. If Lampard starts Mount, I think he's making a big mistake, and unless Ziyech is just not healthy, not fully fit, then okay, I understand. But if he is fit, if he's ready, and he showed me that he is in that game against Southampton, then I don't see any reason why Mount should start over any of these front three. I think Havertz is on a good one. Ziyech already looked really good coming off the bench against Southampton, and Pulisic looked really good against Southampton. Despite the scoreline, despite what happened, those three looked really good, and Timo Werner looked very good. And they all looked sharp, they all looked ready, they're all starting to mesh. Finally, they're starting to work together. So I think disrupting that flow by putting Mount in there is just not going to help. Mount is going to have to take a back seat this season, and I think Lampard needs to realize that sooner than later. Now, as for the subs, I went with Kepa on the bench, of course, Azpilicueta and Zuma, Mason Mount, Olivier Giroud, Tammy Abraham, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now for Sevilla, I went with a 4-3-3, a similar lineup to their game against Levante and Barcelona. They kept sort of similar lineups with them. Like, this could be far off, but I think this should be relatively what they go with. I went with a 4-3-3, like I mentioned. Bono in goal. Acuna left back. Now I went with Acuna over Escudero because I think Acuna is a faster player, and they're going to need some pace in order to shut down Chelsea's front and keep them at bay as they, slowly go into the game. Now for the center back pair, I went with Diego Carlos and Sergio Gomez. For right back, I went with Jesus Navas, and then in their midfield, I went with Jordan, Fernando, and Rakitic as the three in the midfield, and then the three up front, I went with Sousa left wing, Luke De Jong up top, and Ocampos on the right. Now Suso could easily come down for Naziri, who is on the bench for me, but I just put Suso there for now. I think Suso will likely get the nod, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that changes. But I think De Jong and Ocampo should start for Sevilla. Now on the bench, we have Vasily, Escudero, Vasquez, Oscar Rodriguez, En-Nesyri, Munir, and Oliver Torres. Now in the last 3 games, Chelsea, of course, had their 3-3 very disappointing 3-3 draw against Southampton. We had a very convincing win against Crystal Palace, the 4-0 win, and then lost against Spurs in the Carabao Cup. Now for Sevilla, they've gone 1-1-1. They've had one of everything in their last 3 matches. They lost against Granada, they won against Levante, and they drew against Barcelona. And in all 3 of those games, the combined score is 3-1. Which, I mean, it shows that their defense is pretty solid, pretty stout, but that their offense just can't seem to get going right now. They haven't managed more than a goal in these last 3 games, so I am interested to see how they approach this game and whether they choose to press us or sit back. I heavily doubt Sevilla sit back in this game. I don't see that happening unless Chelsea just pressure Sevilla relentlessly, which goes into my thoughts on how the game will play out. I believe this is going to be an exciting game. I think it should be an exciting game. Sevilla are a team that, well, they have the most Europa Leagues in history, and they are the 6-timers. So this should be an exciting game. They do play an exciting brand of football. This game, normally when I try to predict these games, you'll notice a trend of me saying it depends on how the other team is playing, but I think this game depends. Well, I normally say it depends on how the other team's playing and how Chelsea react to that play style, but I think this game depends on Chelsea and Chelsea's defense and how the defense holds up, because I'm still not 100% convinced that we can do anything this season if our defense continues to play the way they are. Now, Sevilla are a very tough side. They are a tough side to go against. They are constantly underestimated, yet they still come up with huge results against some of the biggest teams in the world. So I don't understand. It's like Valencia for me. Valencia and Sevilla are the 2 teams that are always underestimated but always come out with these huge results against bigger sides. So they are a team that we are not, I swear, if we underestimate them, and be extremely disappointed. We cannot underestimate. We cannot. I don't know how much I can stress this. We cannot underestimate Sevilla. This is crucial to this game. Do not underestimate Sevilla. They are not a side that we're just going to breeze past. Not even close. No. This is a side that we need to take as serious as possible, and we need to take it to them. We cannot let them take the game to us. Now, one of the keys to this game for me, for Chelsea, is keeping our defensive solidity and shape and making sure that we don't allow Sevilla to get past. I mean, it's essentially going to come down to how Chelsea react defensively to this game. We need to keep our shape throughout this game, and we need to just stay stout. It's the second half Southampton. We need to learn from that and build on that. Learn from it, not necessarily build on what the mistakes we made, but learn, and then from those lessons build on those lessons, and we need to play a lot better defensively. Now, when Sevilla when they enjoy the bulk of the possession, that is when they are at their best, which means that we cannot allow them to get any kind of possession. They struggle to get into the game. If you really look at their results, they struggle to get in the game when the possession is 50-50, when it's in favor of the other team. They tend to struggle to get into the game. So that's why I think that Chelsea need to establish a high press early and continue to keep Sevilla on the back foot. We need to prevent them from going forward, prevent them from throwing bodies forward and getting a proper foothold in this game. By constantly attacking, they will have numbers. By us constantly attacking, they will keep numbers back, and they'll be unable to really control the tempo of the game, which is what they want. They want the possession. They want to be able to control this game, get the foothold in the game, and that'll be crucial for them in order to win. Now, by pressing and keeping that high press, it will keep Sevilla from getting most of the possession in this game. Now, hopefully, Hakim Ziyech will get his full debut. Hopefully, he's fully fit. And I think that he'll add a whole new creative dimension to this team. You know, the crosses, I loved watching Ziyech at Ajax, because he was just, that's why I call him the Moroccan magician. I'm sure that's a nickname other people have come up with, and I fully agree with it, because he just seems to create something out of nothing. He's the one that makes those creative crosses. He's the one that, you know, takes those chances that nobody else would, and it always or almost always pays off. We've shown on attack that we are more than capable of scoring a multitude of goals. You know, in the last 3 games, we've scored 10. So, I mean, we're more than capable of scoring, and we are one of the most exciting and deadly teams to watch because we can score, and we play exciting football. It's just a matter of defending, and Sevilla will inevitably get chances. They're gonna get chances. Chelsea have a nasty habit of gifting some perfect chances for the other teams, and so of course Sevilla are gonna get chances. They're gonna get chances to score, and we need to remain stout. We also have a habit of gifting possession to the other team, which Sevilla will be waiting for that. They want us to give them possession. We can't allow that. We cannot give them possession. If we do, they're going to get a foothold in this game. They're going to gain momentum, and they're going to pressure us. And I don't trust our defense fully right now. That's why I don't think the focus, the onus should be on our defense. The onus should be on our offense. Our offense needs to be the focal point of this game. Our offense needs to press high and keep the pressure on Sevilla, prevent them from being able to attack. In this game, honestly, the strategy is going to have to be offense is the best defense, because our defense is struggling right now and they don't look good at all. So not convincing at all. So we need to keep the ball forward. We need to prevent it from really touching our defense. Now, Sevilla is not going to allow that to happen. I know they're not, but I do think ultimately this result will be defined by our defending and how we defend this game when Sevilla get chances. It's not a matter if, when Sevilla get chances, how we defend. Unfortunately, I am still not 100% convinced by our defending. I don't think any Chelsea fan is. I don't think any fan of the sport is at all. Our defending is shambolic. It's not great. It's poor. And so I'm expecting either a draw or just a ridiculous scoreline in a win. And I don't want to lose this game. We cannot lose match day 1 against Sevilla. We cannot. We need a win against them, because ultimately I think it's going to come down to Chelsea and Sevilla as to who gets first in the group. I think we should be qualifying in this group. And I think ultimately it's going to come down to Sevilla being right behind us, unless Ren pick up a huge, you know, run of form and can come up with some big results in the group. But I think it'll come down to Chelsea and Sevilla, so that's why a win here will be huge going into the, you know, second round, the second half of the matches in the group stage where we have to play them again. But I think it'll either be a 2-2 draw or a 3-2 win. Like I said, a draw or an ugly win. I don't see Chelsea blowing out Sevilla. If it happens, awesome, amazing. You know, clearly we'll have done something right and it will have something to build off of. But it already, even if we win 3-0, the next game will probably be worse. But I don't see us coming out of this with a clean sheet, and I'm not 100% that we'll win this game. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm gonna go ahead and say like a 60% chance, 60-40 that Chelsea win this game. I feel like Chelsea are the favorites, not by a lot. I did look at the odds, and the odds did say that the draw was favored among everything else. The draw was the most favorable. They had the most favorable odds, and honestly, I don't 100%, I don't disagree with that. I do think this will end up a draw, but if Chelsea manage to win, it will not be a clean win. It'll be a pretty ugly scoreline. And if we win 3-0, if we win 4-0, again, amazing. We need to build off of it, though. So I do think this game will likely end up in a draw. 2-2 is going to be my guess. Maybe 3-3, another 3-3 draw, but I didn't think this game will end up in a draw. I feel like it'll be a fairly even contest throughout, and it should be an exciting game to watch. Sevilla are an exciting side, and we have to give them the respect they deserve. So I think it's going to be an exciting game, and Sevilla are just an exciting team to watch generally. And Chelsea have been exciting this season too for the neutrals, but if you're a Chelsea fan, obviously it's not been a very good season for your heart. It's been disappointing to say the least. So hopefully they can get back on track with this win, with a win against Sevilla, and we'll get off to a really good start in our Champions League campaign. I am cautiously excited about this game, and I just really hope Chelsea can come up with a win. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified when I upload. Check out my socials. My Instagram is @BlueHermit_. My Twitter is @BlueHermit1. They're both in the description. Please share the socials with all your friends, family, everybody know. Let the people know Blue Hermit's where it's at. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.